Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to connect your ESP32 or any microcontroller for that matter to the Stanford Wi-Fi. So there are two main ways that there's Wi-Fi security. The first way is called WPA personal, and it can be WPA2 or WPA3 personal, and then there's WPA enterprise. So in Stanford's case, well, when you have WPA personal, that's where you just enter in the password to the Wi-Fi and then you can use it. So everybody has the same password to the Wi-Fi. Now Stanford uses WPA2 enterprise for EDU roam. So for EDU roam, when you connect to it, you have to enter in your password, your SUNET, and your SUNET ID password. Now, your ESP32 can't do that because it opens a pop-up window called a captive portal where you have to actually type in that information. So in order to get around that, you can use the Stanford Wi-Fi instead and register your ESP32's MAC address in Stanford's database, which is called NetDB. So the way that the Stanford network goes, this is called the SSID, by the way. That's just the name of the network. So the way that Stanford goes is you'll have your ESP32, which will have some MAC address, and it will make a request to Stanford, and then Stanford will look at some MAC address and say, is this MAC address in my table? And this table is called NetDB, which is just Stanford's own system. I don't think they use it anywhere else. It's a database of all the MAC addresses that are allowed to do things. So by default, it's not there. And so it'll say, okay, you can't connect. But if you register, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, then Stanford will look at NetDB and it'll see in NetDB that some MAC address is there. And then it will say, okay, I know who you are, because in NetDB it'll say like the MAC address, some MAC adder belongs to Joel, and this is his SUNET, and so it knows that this ESP32 belongs to me, and then it authenticates. So let's register it. So the first step is, with our ESP32, we want to find out what is its MAC address. And in order to do that, it's very simple. Just create a blank project. You could do this in Arduino IDE, or I like to use Platformio. And then when you upload it, you'll notice that as it's uploading, it will tell you the MAC address. So right here we have our MAC address. So take that, go over here, and then go to rnt.stanford.edu, and you'll have to register it as a browserless device. So right now what we're doing is we're entering in our ESP32 into NetDB, so Stanford knows that it's a good device. I already have a device here because I did this before, but let's hit add device, continue, select device type, whatever, baby monitor. I don't have a baby yet. And then you enter in the MAC address. So just paste in what we have. Now you'll see I've already registered this address, but if this is a new one for you, then just go on and hit submit. And after that's done, you'll be at this screen and it'll ask you to wait for 15 minutes for NetDB to sync. And after that, then it'll work. So now, if you try to connect to Stanford with that MAC address, your ESP32 can connect. So let me show you an example of that. So here's how you can connect. So first we are using the ESP32, and by the way, since we've let this MAC address be known to Stanford, now any device could use it. An Arduino that has Wi-Fi abilities could use it, an ESP32 could use it, an STM32 could use it, so whatever. But here's how you do it with the ESP32. This is just how you connect to Wi-Fi, standard way of doing it. So first we do Wi-Fi stationary mode, so it can connect to a access point. And then the SSID is Stanford. That's the network right here. And then we wait for it to connect. And then I just wanted to print out the IP. You don't have to do that. So then I have a little test site here. It's very simple. It just prints back the letter J. You make a HTTP client. You have to include HTTP client to do that. And then this line's actually not necessary. Then you make a GET request there. And here's how you get the status code, and here's how you get the message. So if I do that, let me upload the program. By the way, if we hadn't done that whole thing with RNT, it wouldn't work. If we ran this program, it would say something like, you can't connect. But now that we've registered, it should work. All right, so open the serial monitor. All right, so here we are, we're connecting. Let me replug in the board. I think we lost input. There we are. Connected, okay. Hello there, connected, here's our IP. And we successfully fetched from the site and got back the message. So there you go. That's how you connect to Stanford's Wi-Fi. Thank you.